Es jueves de MDWeekend Inspiration y en esta ocasión extrañábamos muchísimo a Gabriel. Le pedimos que regresara con nosotros para platicar sobre No Country for Old Men, que en español sería ¿cómo es? Sin lugar para los débiles.
Sin lugar para los débiles, un título muy inspiracional en español, ¿no?
Sí, aparte es como, me encanta porque también tenemos el título en español de España. Es como, no hay país para los hombres viejos, ¿no? Así lo encontré. Entonces...
Sí, no. Y eso que los españoles pudieron haberlo hecho mucho peor.
Yeah, it's always they translate the titles in Spanish, but from Spain, and it's like so literally from English to Spanish that sometimes it's just very weird. How are you, Kevin?
I'm good. Very good.
Yes?
Very bored, but very good. Very excited. I don't mean I'm bored with this. I'm in general nowadays. Very happy to be doing this.
We are almost going through it all, so let's just be patient. I am hoping almost. It's just one more month.
Hope so. I really hope so.
You know, it's going to be strange when they start up productions for TV and movies now, just to talk about this for a second. The whole world has changed, so every movie, every TV show has to address this now. Like every cop show, everything has to be in this new world. Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
And the other thing is all the safety methods now we are going to use in the film industry. Now we are going to keep goggles and the mask and also even a full jacket to cover up.
Very long paintbrushes to do makeups.
I think so, like 150. No, like this long. No touching.
Yes. Well,
it's going to be crazy.
Basically, it has to be like that a little bit when you are doing makeup. We are always trying to be very hygienic and very clean. But now with this, it's going to be like another step ahead, no? Like, yeah.
They are also saying that the beauty blenders, you are not going to be able to use them anymore, actually. So if you're a fan of beauty blender, sorry.
Yeah, we're going back with the little sponges and just everything goes to the away. To the garbage.
Because we always used to do the thrush in your mouth. Are you doing something
No.
Not anymore.
No, you don't even mention it. Exactly. All right. Well, let's see what happens. Meanwhile, let's keep talking about our favorite movies. I loved when you suggested No Country for Old Men. I love that movie, and it's like the special effects and the makeup and everything. I really like it. I love how they figured it out. But let's start with to talk about the story of the movie.
Okay.
No? So, who wants to start?
Who starts?
Well, I mean, we could just say Cormac McCarthy wrote the novel I think it was 2005. And the Cohen brothers, who did The Big Lebowski and Raising Arizona and a million things, directed the movie version 2 years later. And it's very close to the novel. There's a few differences, but for the most part, it's very close to the book.
Yes, that's what they said as well with the characters. They were very lucky to find to think about Bardem to make
gosh.
Yeah, I know.
That performance is amazing.
You know, like last week we did Taxi Driver and we talked about the main character, Travis Bickle. And when you first see him, he's just kind of a nobody guy, almost invisible in the world. And at times he's almost sort of endearing at the beginning. You feel sympathy for him, and and he's kind of funny sometimes. And it's only throughout the movie that you start to see his dark, violent side is being revealed. With Anton Chigurh, Bardem's character, the first time you really get a look at him, you know he's a maniac. He is a homicidal maniac. He's like the scariest man on earth.
And he only does it with the eyes. It's amazing. You only see into those eyes and you know you're screwed.
Yes.
When he kills the deputy's on the phone and he goes, "No, I got it all under control. Everything's fine." And he's in the background and he gets his handcuffs in front of him. When he takes him to the floor, the face that he makes while he's choking him, he doesn't even look at him. He's just like zoned out while he's murdering this guy. Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
It's like the eyes, but also the whole look, no? The hair, the red makeup around the eyes, the palette kind of look.
But also
it's
all the body language is amazing. Yes. How he's only by walking, he's telling you all the story.
Exactly.
And you see him in later movies, and it's like, that's him. It's like, because he's a good-looking guy, but in this movie, he's like Frankenstein. He's just like so scary and bizarre looking.
Yeah.
It's his character too. He doesn't really have a personality like Tommy Lee Jones does or Josh Brolin. He's just very linear. He's almost like the shark in Jaws. Like he's just
a
killing machine.
Just a killing machine, yeah.
Because he is. I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Everything that crosses his path just ends up dead.
Except if he chooses the coin, and then he asks, no, Caro Cruz. How that's in English? It's like. How do you say that in English, Kevin, when he asks for the
coin toss?
Okay.
Coin toss.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when he goes in the gas station and he gets a little bag of peanuts and he's filling up the gas tank, and the guy running the gas station makes the mistake of very innocently just saying, you getting any rain up where you're from? Because he saw the license plate. And Anton, it triggers him that it's like don't be nosy. Like it's like you've crossed the line, into his territory. And he just messes with the guy. He terrorizes him to the point where then it's like, okay, I'm going to kill this guy because he's just annoying me. But I'll give him a chance with the coin toss.
Yeah.
And it's funny and it's scary all at the same time. And Bardem does the great thing where he chokes on the peanut at one point when he's talking to the guy. It's like such a natural, odd little quirk to put in there,
Yes. And
I think it's awesome.
Like talking about the coin toss, I don't know if I probably it does, it's not, but it makes me just think about the comic Batman, no, with the Two-Face, and it's also like with the coin. It's the same idea, no, the same concept. So I don't know. It's like the chicken and the egg. What was first? I don't know. I don't have any idea. But it just made me think about that.
Well, I mean that's something that's been traditional. You choose heads or tails, and you flip a coin. It's like, okay, you win.
Yeah. But the particularity of I'm gonna let you live if you win the coin toss. That's the thing, no? That's the el suspenso, no? The
suspense.
The suspense. Like, what is going to happen?
But also, when you go way forward in the movie, almost the end of it, and he's in front of Lewellyn's wife or girlfriend, don't know. He also does the same thing, and she tells him that it's only to take out the responsibility of him choosing. He's choosing if he's going to let her die or not.
Yeah.
If he's part,
And has just come back from the funeral of her mother, and she's lost Lewellyn, and she's just kind of,
I don't care.
yeah, she's just kind of broken at that point, and it's like,
Totally.
yeah, and it's like, the hell with you. You're just, yeah, exactly, it's like you're not taking responsibility. The coin's got nothing to do with it. This is
You're
your
the one
idea.
that's
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's a form to just justify, or also playing with your food.
Yeah.
That's the feel I got with him. It's like, I'm going to play a little bit more. So let them choose and have this sense of choosing.
Yeah, exactly.
But they doesn't have it. And I really like that.
Yeah.
It's appealing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the basic, I guess, the basic plot of the movie is that Lewellyn Moss, he's, not a rich guy. He's just a welder, a working man. He's out hunting in the desert one day, and he stumbles across a drug deal that's gone bad. And everyone has been murdered, basically, from both sides. And he finds a suitcase full of money. And he doesn't hoop and holler and jump up and down, and but he knows it's like he kind of thinks about it a little bit, but it's like it's too hard to resist, and he's like, I'm going to take this. And we begin to see that he's a clever guy. Maybe that was a dumb mistake. It turns out to be a dumb mistake, but I mean, who wouldn't take a whole bag full of money? But
I
he
would.
thinks.
Sorry,
Well,
I would.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm weak.
I know. Well, me too.
Sorry, we are in quarantine and I need the money.
Exactly. And we're artists, so we need to feed ourselves.
Exactly. Yes. But we start to see that he's a resourceful, intelligent guy, that he's like, there's drugs here, there's a bunch of dead people, but there's no money. It must have been like one guy took off with the money. It must have been like one last guy. Mm-hmm. And so he wanders off, like, where would he go? And he's a hunter, and was a vet from Vietnam that we don't know yet. And he eventually finds the man who's dead now and takes the suitcase. And that sets the whole movie into motion. Because obviously, as we've seen from other movies, you can't steal from the mafia or drug cartels or things like that. They don't like that.
No, they don't.
And the magic thing about also like the story or how it's developed is that there are some things that Cohen don't tell us, like specifically, and you just kind of figure it out while the movie just goes, no? So it's like you see something and then suddenly cuts and goes to another part, and it's like, what the hell just happened? And that also makes it really interesting movie, because you have to think, and that's something I like.
Yes.
No?
You get a little information along the way, like with the coin toss in the gas station. All of a sudden, that informs you that it's 1980. That was never mentioned before, but it was a quarter from 1958 that's been traveling for 22 years. It's like, oh, this is in 1980. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you need, as a viewer, you need to do a lot of mental thinking and actually see the movie. It's not like they are giving you everything.
Yeah, which is great. It's not like, a title comes on, Texas 1980.
Yeah.
You have to discover that kind of for yourself as you go through. You have to pay attention.
Exactly. Yeah. Also with I when I saw the movie for the first time, I was like, at the end, I saw the grave for the mother when they were like burying her, and it said like the year of birth, and then when she died, and I was like 1980, and I was like, yeah, of course, like. I kind of thought about it before, and I said like, yeah, it's back in the days, but I never thought like it's 1980. No, it just suddenly shows up in the graveyard. It's like, okay, no, it's like these kind of things.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So Llewellyn goes back to his trailer, his trailer home with his wife or girlfriend. Uh,
I think it's his
and
wife.
I think so, yeah. Um, and we basically have three main characters in the movies. Tommy Lee Jones is the sheriff. It's Anton and it's Lewellyn.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically the three main characters who never actually meet face to face throughout the whole movie. The closest is Anton and Lewellyn, but all they do is shoot at each other.
Yeah.
They never actually meet.
And then
Well,
Tommy
they
Lee,
talk
no?
by phone.
Ah, see.
They talk by phone, yeah, but it's like they're never face to face, really.
Yeah.
And then Tommy Lee
Um,
Jones see Llewellyn, but he's already dead, so they never actually met.
Right.
Yeah.
He knew of him just because it's a small town that they're from, because he recognized his pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
But that was about it. It's interesting too how they portrayed the drug world. That there was the Mexican side and the States side, and the Mexican side is more kind of Wild West, with the pickup trucks and pit bulls and all of that, and the side on the States is more like this corporation. Like it's very corporate. They're in an office building. Everybody's wearing suits, and it's just like hiding in regular society as business, but it's actually, a drug.
A drug
front
base.
for it. Yeah. In the novel, just one thing I thought was interesting is Lewellyn. Before he finds all the bodies and the money, he sees the pit bull, the injured pit bull that's like leaving the scene, and the book describes it. He sees a strange dog with a square head, like he'd never seen a pit bull before. This is 1980 in Texas. There weren't a lot of pit bulls, but I guess the Mexican guys had it, which is cool too. When he gets a pang of regret, Lewellyn, later that day, because he finds one survivor, a Mexican guy in the pickup truck who's been shot, and he's begging for water. And then we see the kindness of Lewellyn, that it's like, I'm going to risk my life and go out at night, and I'm going to bring him some water. And he tells his wife that it's like, I'm going to do something stupid, but I have to do this.
Yeah.
And, so it's like, okay, he's a good guy,
Yes, he's a good guy, but it's like,
kids.
Why are you doing this?
But in doing that good deed, and when he comes back, he finds the guy is dead. He's then cornered by more of the Mexican drug dealers, and they try to kill him. So he's got to try to run away, and they let loose a pit bull on him, which is awesome because it's like a little. It's like a torpedo, like a guided
it's
missile.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I never. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say when he jumps in the river, and the dog jumps in the river too, and you just see his little square head going like a submarine. It's like he's not giving up. He's just coming after the well.
It's amazing. I've never seen a pit bull just dive into it and swim that fast. I mean, it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And then he even at the end gives him the time to take out everything, blow it,
prepare and shot him.
Prepare the shot so it doesn't get stuck with the water, and then you're like, come on. It's like that's.
By the way, that's a nice pit bull. The one that it's in the scene where everything went bad with the drug dealing. It's very nice, that puppet. I guess it's one, or maybe a taxidermist job. I don't know. It's really nice.
Yeah, it is. There's that one that he shoots, and then there's one that's dead from. Yeah, that has like buckshot from a shotgun. At the scene. Yeah, so there's a couple. I assume it's like the same mold, and they cast up a couple of them and finished them differently. But yeah, that's nice. That would have been a cool job to have.
Yes.
The makeups and make the dogs.
So for like talking about that, it's the dogs, and then in the same frame or the same kind of scene, it's like two bodies that they are
Yes.
also they were built for this scene, and it
Hmm.
looks so like amazing when you see how they kind of put them together and prepare them with the dirt, and it's like
Hmm.
they really look real.
And then we have Llewellyn's makeup because they hit him with
Okay.
See.
a shotgun blast just before he jumps into the river, and we see him with his shirt off, and he's trying to pull like the pieces of his shirt cloth out of the injuries. It's nice makeup.
Yes,
Yes.
it's one of the most like bloody movies from the Coens. No, it's like they are just pouring blood everywhere. Even when Anton takes out the boots, it's like
Mhm.
oh, a lot of blood, and it's
And
nice.
also, a very nice thing is the coloring of the blood. It's a very particular
See,
color. Even if it's a fresh wound, it's very dark. And I really like that. It's a nice texture and a nice color in every single frame of the movie.
yes, and it's not like it doesn't feel like it's too much. Like if it's too dark or like, no, it's just like perfect for like to tell the
Yeah.
whole dramatic story and like everything. It's like just the perfect
Yeah, it's
color.
a perfect like color of red.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's blood red Cohen. You know.
See. Exactly. Okay, so we were just with the pit bulls and we interrupt you.
And the English.
Go ahead, Kevincito.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we also meet Carson, who's Woody Harrelson, who basically does the same thing that Anton does, except he's not completely psychotic like Anton.
And he
And
was.
and you see, the Coens put a lot of humor into it too, because when we first see him, he's kind of messing with the boss in the office, and validate my parking ticket, just dopey stuff like that.
Yeah.
You look like a man that wouldn't want to waste a chair, that line. So they send him out as well, which later then Anton doesn't like that, because it's like you already have me doing this. Why would you have him doing it as well? You don't trust me, and it's just it crosses Anton's line again, like his personal code. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, everything crosses his line.
Yeah, I know. So we start to get the idea that there's some way of finding this money that Lewellyn is unaware of, which it turns out there is. Lewellyn checks into a motel. He wants to get away from his wife, to keep her safe, and all of that. And the stashing the money in the air vent in the hotel room, yeah, in the tent poles and all of that stuff is
That's
really
actually very witty, like very obvious. I mean, if I will hide money, I wouldn't use the vent because it's like pretty obvious that I hid it here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's really ingenious.
Yeah.
Putting a rope on it and also knowing that it connects to another part. I mean, it's really brilliant.
And that's, again, we kind of admire Lewellyn, that it's like this guy's pretty smart, that he's navigating this dangerous world now that he's in, and he's so far doing pretty good. So what? I'm trying to remember this in sequence.
He closes the curtains also.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And that. Go ahead.
No, sorry. So he can actually see if someone checks in the room because he knows he's being followed. He doesn't know how, but it's logical that if you mess with drug cartels, you are going to be followed. They want their money. So yeah, he closes up the curtains, and when he returns, he sees like a little bit off. Yeah.
And what's happened is they have sent a group of, I think it was like 3 guys in there from the Mexican side,
Mm-hmm.
and they've broken into his room, waiting for him to return to try to get the money back. And he sees the curtains are parted, and he leaves. Now he's also rented the second room on the opposite side of the motel,
Yeah.
so that he can go up into the air vent on that side, just in case anything happens, he can access from the other side.
Yes.
That was before he sees that the curtains are open, right?
Yes.
He's already got
It's-
that in place.
No, I think it's
after.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Does he go get another room?
Yes.
Because
Okay.
even the clerk tells him, this lovely lady, because, oh my God, there's lovely ladies everywhere, sarcasm.
Yeah.
Gosh. That also tells him, but it doesn't have two beds. It's like, I don't care about the beds, I want my money.
Right.
But yeah.
So he does that, and then we see Anton is driving along, and he's got his little tracker, and it starts to go off, and it gets stronger as he approaches just this motel, and he pulls in, and it's the motel, obviously, Lewellyn's in. He gets a room,
Yes.
but he really only gets a room so that he can go in, because all the rooms in those motels are all the same, basically.
And awful.
And I've stayed in a lot of those across the country, in Texas and New Mexico. There's some bad ones.
Yeah.
But he goes in so he can look, like, he practices coming through the door and where the light switch is. And he goes over and he, like, feels like the thickness of the walls. It's like, can I shoot through this if somebody's hiding in there? And that's the only reason why he has that room, just like as a practice.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he goes to what was Llewellyn's room, and he has his choice, his weapons of choice, which are the compressed air bolt,
Which is
captain's
crazy.
bolt shooter, and a shotgun with a suppressor on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he uses the bolt, which confuses the police at first. It extends a steel rod out and then retracts it back in. And after he kills the detective or the deputy at the beginning, he hijacks a guy's car and he kills him first with the bolt gun. And they use it to kill cattle with. It's one way that they punch a hole in a cow's head.
How does it
And he
work? Well, you tell me later, or explain
it's
later.
yeah. Well, you see him turn
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Oxygen. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's compressed air inside,
And it's
it
just like-
shoots. It just punches that bolt out, but it doesn't shoot out like a bullet. It always stays in, and it just retracts back into itself.
Mm-hmm.
But he uses that to punch out locks on doors too.
Yeah.
And like when he goes to Llewellyn's house, he punches out the door, the lock on his door, which then the sheriff comes in and he finds it, and he starts thinking maybe he's got one of those things. Like, how else would this have happened? It wasn't with a hammer, because it would just be on the floor, like it was all the way across the room.
And also it will be deformed. This is very perfect.
Right, and there's a dent on the wall. So it's
Yeah.
like something very powerful shot that lock across the room. So, yeah, it's really cool. And just to talk about the sheriff for a minute, the title of the movie kind of refers to him.
Him.
Yes.
That it's like the world is changing so much that in a bad way that he can't wrap his mind around it, and he doesn't want to deal with it anymore. It's just getting worse and worse in his eyes. He's a simple sheriff in a small Texas town, but he's seeing all this worse and worse crime, even coming into his world now. That it's just beyond his ability. It's like he feels outmatched,
Yeah, like at the end of the movie, even they say he gets like retired, no? And the wife, he says, I had a dream, and she's like, oh, well, that's good. Now you have time for that, no?
Right.
And that's kind of like,
Because he goes to visit his uncle, near the end and tells him that it's like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because at some point, the brutality of the murders, the whole thing for him, it's going just. I was going to say that bad word, but I stopped myself. Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's going to like an end, and you can't cope with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it happens sometimes. You just can't. It's like too much things out there. So
And specifically this story, no? It's like if the sheriff would be like in another town or another position, like everything is very calm, or I don't know, a state where nothing happens, but then they are in like near the border. It's like with the cartel, this guy is killing the way he's killing. It's like, dude, what happened? What's going on? No, it's like this is just too much. And well, that's it. That's the whole point of the story.
Yes, and you feel it. And Tommy Lee Jones does an amazing performance because you are feeling his age. You are feeling as old as him.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm tired.
It's
and
heavy.
even in a scene that it has with another sheriff, when Lewellyn died, they are talking about this. And like, it's too much. We don't know how to do it and how to face it, and we're tired.
And
we're all men.
Even like at the like how like when the movie goes through, it's like he understands, and he's like listening, and okay, so like the facts and everything, but he's kind of not doing anything. He's just like listening, watching, thinking, but he's not like this active cop or sheriff, like, oh, let's try here, let's try there. No. He's just like, no.
Yeah, because he's connecting everything in his mind. He's watching the picture inside his mind, but he's not taking any action because maybe he doesn't know how, maybe he doesn't want to even. But one thing is certain, he doesn't want Lewellyn to die, and he doesn't want the wife to die.
Yeah.
That's it. That's for sure.
There's that one scene where the deputy comes in and says the FBI or somebody's going back out to the crime scene, and they asked if you want to come out and take a look at it, and all he says is like, have any more bodies accumulated out there?
Yeah.
And he says no, and he goes, then nah, it's fine. There's no reason for me to go out for like a political reason just to be seen or anything. He's very laconic, and it's like, as more information comes in, it's like there's nothing I could do right at the moment. It's like, we'll just keep looking, but there's no reason to go out there.
Yeah.
For him.
Exactly. Hey guys, can we go to the special effects part?
I was just gonna say, leading off where Anton is going to go now look into Llewellyn's hotel room.
Okay.
He uses a compressor, he punches the lockout, he bursts through the door, and he has his shotgun.
Yeah.
And he fires at the guy laying on the bed, which is a pretty awesome effect. If you see the guy, he has a complete fake arm on.
Yes.
It's squibbed to blow apart in the middle, real fast, but it's great.
Yeah.
Like we said the other day, no, all this work, and then it's suddenly like.
Yeah, it's a split second.
Is it like the same way they did for Taxi Driver?
For the hand, I don't know if it was something that could be reset and then you could do it again, or if they just had like multiple arms that it would be destroyed, and you take that off and then put a new one on, and then blow that one up. You'd have to go frame by frame, or I would have to go and see like how much damage did it actually blow up. I know the hand that Dick had in Taxi Driver, the basic hand itself, there was only one that could be reused, but there were multiple fingers that were put on. and then a new squib got put inside and blood, and then they could do it again. But that arm, I'm not sure. But it is a great effect.
Yes. Yes, it is. And then the other one that I kind of saw is the handcuffs, no? Like at the beginning of
At the
the
beginning.
movie. Oh my God! It's like we said in the beginning, no? It's the combination of the effect and the combination of Bardem's eyes and the face. It's everything. So they had to figure it out how Bardem could do this face and like acting like he has like with his whole like his full strength to do this, but not hurting the other actor.
Right.
So that's what they built. No, it's like
Was
a
it?
chest.
Did he have like a plate?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Yeah, they did this like I don't know, un arnés in
Harness.
harness,
A harness.
and then it had already like the
The neck.
shape of the chain, and then he could just pull back with all the strength, and it really looked like it, but obviously he wasn't. Ay, se me fue la palabra de ahorcar.
Choke.
Choking. Yeah, he wasn't choking.
I'd be worried if I was the actor playing the deputy, because if that broke, you would still just be going,
Yeah.
there'd be no way to signal, because you know.
Yeah, exactly. How could you do that? Not even with your feet, because that's also the other part, like very important of the scene. He's just like with the boots scratching the floor, and then you see, and it's like, oh, he's suffering.
Yeah, and with all the marks on the linoleum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another effect that comes up, because so after Anton kills the guys in Lewellyn's room, Lewellyn on the other side of the hotel takes his money and runs, because he hears the gunfire and all of that. He runs and checks into a really nice hotel. And he's sitting in his room, and he's thinking like, how did those guys get into my room? And like, he doesn't know about Anton yet, but it's like that's impossible. There's no way they could have found me at that little hotel or the motel. And he goes, this can't be. So he opens up the suitcase and he starts looking through it, and he finds the little tracker inside of it. And Anton is at that point,
Entering the hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, and he calls down. Lewellyn calls down to the front desk, and the phone just rings and rings, and it's like, oh, okay, something's bad. But instead of smashing the tracker so that somebody's in the building looking for me, but they don't know like exactly where I am, he leaves it intact, and he just sits down with the shotgun, and it's like, I'm gonna deal with
Finishes.
this. Yeah. Which then doesn't work, because Anton locates the room and punches out the lock, which is cool because it hits Brolin, Lewellyn right in the chest. It's like, oh, like what the hell? And he shoots and jumps out the window. So now this is the closest those two ever get to meeting, is just the shootout that they have.
Yeah.
Lewellyn carjacks that pickup, and instantly there's another makeup effect, because the driver, Anton is there. He's got the prosthetic piece for the gunshot. It's like, which is pretty awesome.
It's
that whole sequence is great, with the bullet hits on the windows, like how scary that is. That is great.
Because also you don't see where you can only see and hear, and it's like he's trying to see
to
where
locate it.
like to.
And he can find it, and he doesn't look at him. Yeah.
Exactly, just a little bit at the end of the sequence. It's like a little bit, and then he gets shot. No, well, the Anton gets shot, which is another good one.
Yeah. Lewellyn runs him off. He's shooting the shotgun at him, and Anton drops his Tech 9 that he was shooting at the pickup with that gun. I'm sorry?
No, sorry.
So then we get another great makeup effect where and we see how clever Anton is, which he wants to steal drugs from a pharmacy. And so he can't just walk in and he can't kill everybody in there just to get these drugs. So it's like, I'll create a distraction. And he blows up the car. He soaks the rag and puts it into the gas tank and blows up the car outside. And when it blows up, it's great because Bardem doesn't change his expression at all. Like everybody else jumps and the glass explodes. And he's just like focused on going back and getting his stuff. He's like so out of touch with the rest of it. He doesn't care. Yeah. And so then we see him back in his hotel room. Anton cuts the pants off and takes it. And it looks like the way he performs it is so great. It looks so painful. And that's a really nice effect. And just the seeping of the blood, it's not like spraying out or anything, but it's just like this constant kind of seeping. It's really nice. And he's picking the buckshot out of his leg.
And again, there was super beautiful red. How do you say, Gabriel? The red Cohen.
the red blood Cohen Country for All Men color.
We're gonna use that as a palette color. Like, bring the red Cohen blood.
Yeah, we should do a palette color for that. It deserves a mention and a palette of its own.
See, exactly.
And actually, the makeup, it's seamless. You don't see the start and the finish. It's just so well done and well applicated and well colored. I mean, it's amazing. This amazing shot is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very nice.
Okay. We are almost running out of time. I don't know how much time I have for this meeting.
Okay.
Don't know.
But what else?
Well,
I just wanted to know. I just wanted to say this really quickly. I don't know how. Almost at the end, they got him, or they knew where he was when he already didn't. He didn't have the localizador, the thing.
Mm.
So, and then he turns out he's dead. So it's like, how did they get with him?
That's a good point.
With Lewellyn?
Yeah, with Lewellyn.
Yeah.
With Lewellyn was the Mexicans.
Yeah, but how did they know where he was?
But how did they find him? Well, actually, Anton does show up because there's a scene where the sheriff goes back at night and he's looking into
I love that. Yeah.
And you just see Anton is like hiding in the shadows.
I know, like, I was so stressed out. I was like, not him. I mean, come on, let him be in peace in the rest of his life. He just wants to be calm and retired and just let him be. I was so stressed out with just watching him like there hiding and the sheriff coming in. I was like, no, not him, not him. Sorry, I needed to take it out.
Yeah.
Well, we should say it won 3 Academy Awards. Bardem won.
Yes.
For supporting. Coen Brothers won for directing, and what was the third one? The screenplay.
The screenplay.
Adapted screenplay, something like that.
I didn't know
they deserve them.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Each and every one of them.
Of
course.
And also another effect that we are missing before we finish up is the fracture.
Yeah.
Sí es cierto. Sí.
Yeah.
Right.
And yes, it's lovely.
Yes.
It's funny that kid keeps saying, it's like, Mister, your bone is showing.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's just like fascinated with it.
Yeah. And then the bad guy just goes away and the
Just
good
disappears,
guy died. Well, the good guy. Lewellyn.
Yes.
So, yeah. And I have my set dressings for this week. I have shotgun shells.
Okay.
I have my lucky quarter.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to keep it in. You don't put it in your pockets, mister, because then it will be a common coin, which it is.
Which it is.
You never know. Maybe it's your lucky one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang on to it.
Oh, that was so fun, guys. Again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Both of you guys.
I want to suggest for next week Alien.
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 Okay.
Okay.
See,
Alien only one or the whole the whole bundle? Which one? One?
I'd say the
Two,
first
three?
two.
The
yeah,
first two. Okay.
I mean, we can mention the other ones, but the first one and the second one, to me, were the only two good ones.
Mm-hmm.
but I like the latest ones. Maybe
Prometheus and the other one?
yeah. See,
Huh?
I like them.
Well, I like the giants.
Yeah, me too.
Those are cool.
And
Those
also
are really-
maybe not because of the story, but because of the designs and like yeah,
Mhm.
like you're saying, Gabriel, like the art and everything. I think it's worth to talk about it at least a little bit, maybe. But yeah, let's.
Yeah, we can mention them.
Okay, but let's go
Alright.
with that. You
So we
think?
will have an alien marathon. It will be
Yes. Nice.
We're going to have to talk really fast if we have to do it in 40 minutes. with all
No,
those
we
things.
can go
No,
back to
no, it's
our we can go back to
Okay.
our usual chat. I'm not gonna say brands, but but we can go back to the norm to the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can do more
Yeah,
than
because it's going to be longer.
see.
Or maybe we can actually see how much time you can have on this format and check it out if it really needs you need to pay or it
Yeah.
or no. I mean,
Let's
I don't
figure
know.
it out that. But yeah, if not, we can go back to the other.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you so much to both
No,
of you.
thank you guys. It was
Thank you.
awesome.
Yes.
I love the story and I love the movie and it's good to be back. Thank you to have me
Yeah.
back.
Oh, it's good to have you back. Thank you. Thank you.
Now it's getting weird a little bit for me that you're not here with us. It's like, oh, I miss her.
I know. That's what I thought.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really enjoy it. I love that movie. I actually dreamt about it, and with the masterclass I was having the day after I saw it, which is really crazy. I was making all the makeup in a model who was dead, obviously shot, and there were bullets everywhere. It was insane. Yeah.
See, it's
It was
a
awesome.
little bit bloody movie, but it's nice.
Yeah, I shouldn't see that in nighttime, like very night, like 12, 1 o'clock in the night. Not again.
Okay, but let's try for not to see that or not to do that with Alien because then you will be doing a makeup on a model
I don't
with
know.
this long face in your movie.
I don't know. I have like this fetish on the xenomorph, so probably it will be the best night of all.
Okay, you let us know.
I certainly will.
Perfecto. Okay, guys. Well, let's continue next week. Thank you so much, and I send you hugs and kisses.
All right. Let's see you guys in a
Kisses.
week.
Yes.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.